San Antonio, welcome to All Things San Antonio podcast. Your favorite host and realtor, Brad, and
favorite co-host and investor, Ken. And we are here with Holland Lawrence, one half of the duo of Wild Barley Kitchen. Thank you so much for coming in.
Not a problem at all.
Took us a little bit to be able to schedule it.
Yeah.
And I'll just throw it out there. I don't know if Brad knows this. I actually interviewed Holland and Mark a long time ago, probably in 2019, 2000-ish.
Yeah.
About the right before the pandemic and all that shit and everything. And I think it would have been came out to the trailer, got a lot of their story, which I've already forgot a lot of it and everything. So it's gonna be great to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I never put it out yet and everything. And this goes out to all you realtors who like do stuff and just take action and it all works out. Yeah. Eventually.
Well, eventually it'll get there, right? Yeah.
I mean, COVID, you had a pandemic stop you.
We had a lot of stuff stopping us.
We'll use that as an excuse.
There you go.
That's right.
So the thing that I think is great about what y'all are doing, Wild Barley Kitchen, for anybody that knows, like the key thing is sourdough.
Yeah, so the key food aspect. So we wanted to tie in. So me and Mark, we met in college, wanted to run a restaurant, a brewery. We were trying to figure out what food to do. And we found the sourdough product, brought in fermentation into the kitchen. And so it tied in the brewery and the kitchen together. Yeah. So that was like, okay, this is what we're going to run with. Now what are the different products we make within that? So that's kind of where it started for sure.
Well, that goes back, and I kind of went out of our order. We always talk about, speaking of like how y'all got together, your origin story. We always talk about like everybody's origin story to San Antonio. Like I moved here, military brat. He's born and raised.
Yeah.
Are y'all born and raised San Antonio? What's y'all's origin story? How did y'all meet? And then, like, I know y'all started with the food truck. Let's start from the very beginning.
All right. Well, I am actually born and raised here in San Antonio. So grew up on the northeast side of town. Went to Madison. Then graduated. We went to A&M up in College Station.
Great year this year.
Yeah, great year so far, except for on Friday. It was a little bit of a... we won't talk about it yet. That's not what this is about. But went to A&M, I'm... The A&M lifestyle and suits of what's going on, it was difficult to find the group of friends that we went. So, like, eventually, probably my junior year, sophomore year, something like that, kind of found this, like, really niche group of friends. We all rode bikes and hung out, and we were kind of the outcast of the city. We lived in a little neighborhood. Yeah. We called it the neighborhood. Just really friend group and communal kind of spot. It was a really fun time to have. And Mark, he was managing like a little sandwich shop, Pita Pit, making pitas and stuff. And so I needed a job. He was my first boss up in college. And yeah, we just hit it off and worked well together. We always talked about our dreams, aspirations, what are we going to do after graduation. He was from Georgetown, traveled around a bunch, and then he was in a band that ended up in Bryan, and so I think he stuck around and he ended up going to school. And I was on the 5-year plan. I think he was on like the 5 or 6-year plan. So we kind of just hung out and stuff as well. Yeah. So that's how we met. We didn't know exactly what we were going to do, but we just knew like we worked well together, and that's a huge part of a business. And trying to get together with a business partner is so difficult, and choosing the right one and how do you do it? It's
harder than marriage.
And it is. I hang out with him more than I do my wife, right? So like that's you're at work and so doing that. So we both graduated. We decided to do a road trip. So we left San Antonio, and I forget how long it was, but we went and hiked through Big Bend. We went up through New Mexico, hiked that, did the Grand Canyon, went over all the way to California, hiked up. We ended up climbing up Mount Whitney. So just kind of an outdoor wild experience, right, of that. We lived out of I borrowed my mom's like 2001 Canyon single cab pickup truck, and that's what we drove across the country. And I think after a month of living together out of that truck, we were like, we didn't want to kill each other. We were like, all right, I think we can actually like.
That's a good time.
Yeah, it was good. Like, it was some cool experiences and stuff like that, and but just that bond of outdoors and that nature and that bonding really. We got to what else are you gonna do on top of a mountain but just talk about dreams and what we want to do, and I think we really found that's what we wanted, and that was that was a while ago, and we said, okay, like he was working up through the franchise of Pita Pit, so he was working for the corporate, and he was in charge of a huge region and setting up all the different restaurants, the new restaurants, and taking over old restaurants that weren't doing well and revamping them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's what his path was going down. My path was going down the beer side. So I graduated with industrial distribution and supply chain management.
Okay.
So sales, distribution, beer was a passion. So that's kind of where I went into. I went down to a brewery, Ranger Creek. I came home I live, 2 miles away from that. So I went in, says, hey, can I have a job? And this was in 2009. And they were like, no, we're okay. And then I gave them my resume, and they were like, oh, like, you actually have some experience.
Yeah.
We could actually get help and do it. So they hired me for 1 day a week. I think
That was over there off like
Thousand Oaks. Yeah, they're still there. So Thousand Oaks
Yeah.
and 35 area. So
Yeah.
Whirlwind Drive is where they're at. And I think they hired me for doing sales 1 day a week. And I think the first week I worked 60 hours. So like, it just was like, hey, what else can I do?
It's a long day.
Yeah. So it's a long day. Yeah.
That's the restaurant business, huh?
Yeah, for real. It seems like that. But so yeah, it was like this cool little like, and so that's the path I was going down, and did sales for a little bit. I was in charge of San Antonio, Austin, Houston. Sold a lot of beer. Every chance I could, I got into the actual manufacturing of it. And Rob Landerman was the head brewer at the time, and what can I do? How can I learn? I was homebrewing at the time, so I was just trying to pick up every knowledge, and I just fell more and more in love with actually the process of making it versus selling it, and so that's where I kind of went into the head, and then he left, so I took over the head brewing job there. So I did that for 8 years or so, and then we kind of me and Mark, that's when we came back together, and we're like, okay, like I feel like we both have enough experience in like our professions.
Very complementary experience too.
And to do that and go ahead and come together and say, all right, well, let's launch this idea and this project. So that was kind of like the start of it, and how we got together and said, let's do this. So then there was a whole nother process of actually from, all right, what are we going to do? And
it's not as easy as people think.
It's not, and I'm more of a perfectionist. I try, and so like that's really hard writing a business plan and like being a perfectionist, and like I've learned how much you actually have to let go running a business where you just don't have the control. You just got to do it, and if hope it'll work out, right? So we did a lot, and it was crazy. There was the city regulations, the real estate aspect of it, renting, buying, zoning, all this other stuff that we had to kind of deal with, and that kind of led us down the path of like the food truck, and that was the idea to start. And
is that why y'all started with the food truck?
It was. So the idea is like if you look in San Antonio, the zoning for breweries typically is going to be I-1 or C3, something like that. So an old tire shop or whatever it is. So most restaurants aren't in there, and they don't have a kitchen, and they don't have that. So we decided, okay, well, if we have a food truck, and this is pre-COVID, pre-stuff, so the margins and like the way that the restaurant industry, the beer industry like worked out is like the kitchen wasn't going to be as large as it currently is because it wasn't the demand. Typically, you were 70% beer, 30% food pre-COVID on most kind of brew pub aspect of it. We really didn't need that big of a spot. So we built out this food truck. Idea was to eventually park that in front of a warehouse and hit the table. Shouldn't be doing that. Park it in front of a warehouse, and that would be our kitchen, and the brewery would be in the warehouse, and that's how it was going to work.
Sort of like what Roadmap has.
Yeah, so similar to Roadmap, yeah. So we actually, when we got going, Roadmap was a great guy, and Dustin allowed us to go park out in front of it, and we did their trivias every Thursday. We went out there and pulled the trailer down there, and we would hit all the breweries, and that's how we kind of got started, is just pulling the trailer around and doing events and stuff, getting marketing while we were finishing up the business plan and trying to find that warehouse to do it. And so at that point, I think we were about to sign a lease. We found this cool spot, a little warehouse. We were like, all right, let's do this. And then, COVID was just like starting to be a thing. And we were like, maybe we should wait. Like, let's see what this has happened, and we don't really know.
Yeah.
So we just pulled back a little bit, and then, pandemic happened. So it was, and we stopped for 3 or 4 months, found a spot down on Broadway News, They were looking for a permanent kind of spot. It was perfect. It was outdoors. There was picnic tables. I think everybody's kind of fears and whatnot was, I have to eat outside. They wanted everything to go. So having the food truck, doing that, really allowed us to grow quite a bit. And there was, Don Rules down there. There was the vibe down there was really cool. And Mario was in charge of it. And so he was bringing a lot of really cool vendors and stuff. And I think we had a really unique thing at that moment in time of allowing us to grow and continue.
And also, because being that like most of y'all's food is sourdough based and stuff like that, there also seemed to be like this big like influx. Everybody was making sourdough, and everybody was interested in sourdough during COVID and stuff. And
that was I think we had so many people come up to the trailer and ask, and like, oh, how do you do this, or can we have some of your starter and all this other stuff, and we gave out parts of it, and people tried it, and then they just came back and they were like, so can I just buy a loaf from you? It's like, yeah, sure.
So much
let's do that. Let's just do that. Yeah. It's it's a challenge. There's challenge in making it and stuff, but I just think that at that moment in time, having a food truck was kind of a blessing and allowed us to grow. It was when the city and all these things were like, oh, we're giving out grants, we're giving out this stuff, and you have to show all your numbers, and it's like we didn't have a decline. It's like we had a constant steady growth, and they were like, well, you can't. Sorry, we're not going to give you money.
Couldn't grab that.
And I was like, man, come on. But it was at that moment in time, it was just a good thing to do, and we were really able to. The neighborhood in that area was such a supporter of us, and we got so many locals, and we got so many just like regulars that we became the spot for walking through, grabbing lunch.
And there's still they had like a lot of cool little because you have Mila Coffee that was right there, and then Bear Goods Outpost, like they had their truck there that was pulling a lot of people.
They had the vintage shop, Summer Moon,
that little crazy little house. I don't know how they built that thing that's got like the little. Everything looks like it's bit.
Yeah, it looks like a car. I thought like a car hit it at first. And I was like, oh man, someone just hit that building. Oh no, that's how it was built. Like it was leaning.
You know what I'm talking about?
No,
it's like crooked. It's a.
Where's it at?
It's right there, Broadway.
It's right
News,
on the corner.
On the corner where like that park is and stuff like that.
But yeah, it was so. That's what we did, and then we just kind of kept like, when is the right moment? What are we gonna do? Kind of that same idea is like, all right, well, we're gonna find another warehouse. Kind of look at that, move the trailer. But that moment we had the trailer operation going. We were running breakfast, lunch, and dinner, doing sourdough. It was an operation out of a trailer. Like we were doing a lot of stuff out of it, and we were ready to have the space and be able to do it. So we thought COVID was kind of coming to a balancing spot where people were feeling comfortable moving it. So we were like, all right, let's find it. We had a friend that my wife's a teacher at Woodridge in Alamo Heights, and she has one of her co-teachers is a friend or neighbor of Lee, who owned Taco Garage, and so at a party or whatever, I think he was like, I don't know if I'm gonna reopen, blah blah blah, because it was post-COVID. He had to shut down with all that stuff, and so my brain was like, okay, like it's a great spot. If you look at the business plan that we wrote. Where we're actually at, it was like to the T of what except not enough parking, right? That was the one thing negative, but it's always a bad part. But it clicked every single box that we had. So I was just like, okay, so let's set up meetings and try to talk with him and negotiate if he was going to reopen or what was his plan. And, hey, we're two guys trying to get into the business. And I think he really liked our story, so he was like, you know what? He had other things to focus on. He owns a couple other bars at the restaurant, so he was like, I'm going to focus on these. I'm going to let this one go. So we worked out a deal to take over the lease. He helped us work with the lease owner. He was really helpful. And it was kind of from there. And then it ended up being I won with a restaurant currently there, and so we were like, oh, well, the food truck kind of isn't necessary anymore. So we built out the whole restaurant, which was a little bit more challenging than what we originally planned, but we did a lot of work to it. So we kind of staged it, where we had the food truck out there. So we immediately parked the food truck, worked on the patio. Everybody could eat on the patio, had the food truck. So we were doing full service. Then when we were done, Mark and all the crew would start cleaning up. I would go into the restaurant and start doing work construction for a couple hours, and hit the go to bed. We'll do it again. So we that's how we did it. So we
Glamorous life.
Yep. We luckily through school we had friends that had construction businesses and stuff like that. So they've helped us out. We had I think it was Beta Group, a buddy of mine, Blake. He did a huge compartment of the kitchen and able to do. But I mean, yeah, me and my dad laid every single piece of tile on that wall. If you go through, it's a hexagon tile, which I don't think I'll ever choose that again. But that was
the white one,
the white tile. Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the problem is with a brewery and doing construction is once. At the end of the day, you want to have a couple beers, then you start doing tile work, and then you realize in the morning you're like,
grout lines
I gotta pull half that wall down. So we did that a couple times, So you had 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but it.
It's a story.
Yeah, it's a story. So we had so we did that. We finally got the indoor kitchen facility done. Cool. Then we put up a wall, opened up the kitchen. Moved the trailer out of the way. That was all operational then, and then at that point we were able to get other people's beer in, so we started just pouring other people's beer, and we started the construction on the brewery. So that took another 8 months to finish out and build out and get all that going, and then the brewery was open. So then we took that wall down, and that was now open. So it's definitely was a stair step kind of bootstrap.
So how extensive is the brewery in the back there? Like how many different brews can you do?
So it's a 7-barrel system, Portland Kettle Works system. We bought out of Colorado, right next to Boulder. So it was a brewery that shut down. And then during, again, COVID area, brewery equipment was pretty scarce still on the used market. And so something popped up. I called I was scrolling at 2 a.m. and sent a message and was like, hey, I'm getting on a plane tomorrow. I'll come take a look at it. And so that's what we did. And I think 2 days later, we were driving a trailer and a truck up to pick it up. So nowadays it's a little bit different. You can pick scrap metal up pretty much for brewing. But so we got a good deal. We bought the system before we had a lease. So that was kind of the deal on it. It was just it was just such a good deal and stuff. We're this is what we're doing.
I was ready to go.
Yeah, time to do it.
So. What were some of the biggest struggles y'all had from transitioning from the trailer to the restaurant?
It's a good question. The staff. Right now, staffing is really difficult, right? We have a really great staff. We have a crew that loves what we do. But just it's a hard thing to kind of manage and we try not to micromanage, but also it's our business and we want to do it correctly and so it's finding the right people and going through it. But right now it's finally 4 years in, we've managed the people that we have and they're doing really great. We're bringing new people in, the training, but I think that transition to just find the right people that fit, especially in a food truck. We were doing everything in a food truck, so it's you're working super close, and you got to really just have a good feeling about the people and want to be that close with someone for that long. You can't just I'm going to go in the back office and you can do it up there, right? So that was one of the struggles, and we're trying to be all about customer experience and just that, and so that was our main focus, and then everything else kind of led to that. So. Putting the right people in their places was our goal. So we didn't have a crazy hard time. We're slow rolling on everything, so we don't just jump in and do it. We're pretty methodical and okay, this is the right move. Let's do it. And also when we start something, we hold on to it for a while. When you do anything in the business, you try something. It takes 3 months to find if it's going to work or not. So it's just, for us, it's being diligent in that. And I think that's maybe one of the hardest things to do is this isn't working. This isn't working. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Is it going to work? And then finally it does, right? Or, but you have to give it that time to be able to facilitate. And I think that was that waiting game is one of the hardest things to do. And especially if you're just dumping money into it and you're
that 3 feet from gold.
Yeah.
Right?
You're just okay, then, I think that's where a lot of people fault is that they try it and then it doesn't work for a week. And you're you can't if we have a customer comes in once a month, if we change something once a month, every time that customer comes in, it's going to be something new for them. And so it's you need to have them to come 2 or 3 times before they get it. Oh, this is the way it's done. Cool, I'm okay with that. So I think that was one of the hardest things for us as business owners is just that like just holding on and that patience to be able to do that for sure. And
the same thing happens in our business.
It's like, okay, it's not working. It's not happening fast enough. Let's like you always wanted to like
let's pull it, do something else.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like, it's,
you got to have that consistency first.
Yeah. How many times that we, we've pushed product and like no one's buying the sandwich, no one's buying this, no one likes it, whatever, and it slow rolls it out, and it eventually it kicks on, and then But if you love it and you stand by what you do, it matters, and I think it'll eventually kick on.
What's been some of the main ways that you guys are able to roll stuff out like that? I've seen other people do like influencers or like have other people push it and things like that. Do y'all do anything like that?
We do. So I mean, we've paid for some influencers and some Instagram and so especially earlier on, we definitely helped out. Then eventually, the product speaks for itself. I think a lot of times they, a lot of them see what we're doing and they want to come and talk to us and hey, like we've heard this is a really good spot, so we want to do it. We haven't really paid recently, but like we don't do a lot of paid promotions and stuff like that. And marketing is we try to just naturally grow it. Marketing is such a hard what is the return on it? Who knows if you're ever gonna like see it like.
Because y'all were on diners, dives, and drive-ins too.
Yeah. So
how did y'all get on there? Did they reach out to y'all? Or?
Yeah. So they reached out to us. It was an email. If you go to my email right now, I have 14,000 emails. Like I don't like.
It just caught your eye.
I was just like, oh, this is weird, and it didn't say diners, drive-ins. It was like whatever their production company was. And we're interested in doing a show, and I thought it was like a spam email, and I was just like. I respond to everything that I see and like, all right, sure, let's do it. And if it's a spam, we'll work it out later. And then they got the phone call, and that's when they were like, oh no, this is a serious thing, and it's for diners, drives, and dives. And I was like, oh, like okay,
that's cool.
Did they charge you to come on?
No, they don't. So they don't charge.
That's cool.
There's definitely expense on our ends to like
for sure
to host it. You got to shut down for a couple days. You got to make the product and all this other stuff. So. There's definitely expenses, like there's things that and then one of the big expenses, like the effect that it does have, which is great, but it brings in a lot of people and you have to be ready for that. And like that's the, buying the right equipment to kind of facilitate that growth. It's like we were smoking all of our briskets on a Traeger, right? Like before that show and just 1 to 2 a time, like whatever. So it's like, okay, cool. Now we have a Southern Pride, which is a $20,000 smoker. So it's just like it's an upgrade, right? So you're going but us being willing to do that, and when Guy was there, he was just like, get ready. Like he goes, you have the opportunity to, like you're gonna get so many new people in the door, and if you can keep them and retain them and do it, like you're gonna grow, and that's what we like. So we took that to heart, and that's what we did. So it's like. Before the show, we focused a lot on specials and new things out there all the time. And so we kind of pulled back this last year on that. And we haven't had a lot of specials, but we just were like, I don't want to run out, right? So the Reuben is what got featured. It's a great sandwich. Good. It's a lot of work to do it, right? So that sandwich is a crazy amount of work to build and to have inventory. And we went from, I forgot to look at the numbers, but we grew it probably 250% of the growth on that sandwich, like immediately. And then like for a year later now, it's like we're probably, we're doing probably 500% more sales of that sandwich than any other, what we were doing, right? So it's growing like crazy. But
that's one of the things like you go into a restaurant and you have something that's really good. It's really hard. Like for me at least, it's really hard for me to ever order anything else. It's because like, oh man, that thing is so different.
I have to keep trying this. I keep getting the same thing until they mess it up, and then I'll get something else next time.
Oh, we don't have that today. Like, sorry, you gotta get something else. I think everybody has that habit, right? It's not a hard thing to do.
It's a safe space.
Trust me, I know I'm not unique. I'm in anything. I'm a dime a dozen.
Yeah, you want to be regular today, right? Like it's a thing, safe. And it's cool that like we do have the people though that just work through the menu. Like you see them come in every day and like, I haven't had this. Like, let's try this.
Yeah.
And like new special. So that's a fun experience. People just come through and try everything. But we also definitely have I know people's regulars orders all the time, right? So it's definitely been a crazy year with that, and I think but it's kept us alive. It's kept us busy. There's a lot of people right now hurting and shutting down. You see it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like we count our blessings, and we're extremely lucky, and we work really hard to keep it going, keep the doors open.
I've noticed that y'all have also been doing a lot of collaborations with like other like restaurants, even doing pop-ups and having them come in, which is not normal. Again, it's not something that like most people would do. Is like have another restaurant come in and do a little pop-up in there.
Yeah, it was. We were sitting there, and we've always been closed on Tuesdays. For the food truck, we were open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we opened up Thursdays, and then when we got to the brick and mortar, we're like, okay, well, we're gonna open up one more day. What's it gonna be? So we opened up. We were like, well, it's gonna be. So then we opened up Wednesday, and then we're gonna our next choice is either gonna be Monday or Tuesday. In our area, everything's kind of shut down on Monday.
Everything.
So we were like, well, let's be open. Like, we'll be if we're the one open, then we get we'll get that business if someone's looking for lunch. And it's taken a while to ramp up, but the lunchtime business for Mondays have actually gotten really nice. But again, it's one of those stick with it. Is like how many times you go on a Monday and there was no one there for lunch, and you're like, all right, is this worth being open? And a year later, you're like, yeah, it 100% is. So it's just, what is that going to do? But anyway, so Tuesdays, we were shut down. And we were, obviously beer is our best margin. So we're like, okay. And it also, takes a bartender or two to run the operation if you're not staffing the whole kitchen, right? So we were like, well, we have enough people to be able to facilitate a bar shift. What are we going to do? And I think with the trailer, that collaboration, we did that a lot more. And so we wanted to kind of bring that back. And so it just kind of was this natural fit of like, let's just do this and see if it works. And yeah, this is the third month of doing it now in December. It's been awesome. We just had Sings yesterday. And that was, it was a great experience. To Sings
Friday night for dinner.
And then, it's a good spot there. They did.
My daughter's taking me. I gotta like humble brag. My 24-year-old daughter. I was the last choice, but I was a choice. And she needs someone to go to Paper Tiger to see the Axe and the Hatchet Men, some band. Okay. And she's like, I want to go to Sings and then go to Paper Tiger. I'm like, that's like we can do it. We can facilitate that really easy. And cool. I got invited.
Makes you feel special.
That's right.
Hopefully she don't change her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. She might. This won't come out till after. So
yeah. Then we had on the 30th of December, we have Buckin' Rodeos. They're going to do their 1-year anniversary from party kind of at our place and doing that.
Buckin' Rodeo?
Yeah, so it's like a Puerto Rican barbecue. They set up over at 3 Star. It's a food truck. So so that's gonna be one. That's gonna be the last one of the year. We're gonna take because most people set up outside, so it's gonna be too cold. So we're gonna like put a hiatus on it until March, and we'll relaunch it in March. But it's cool promotion. It brings new people in. It draws in new crowds for us. So we're getting their followers to come visit us. So and then they look at our menus and say, oh, well, I want to come back and try it. And vice versa as well. It's like,
and you sell some beer.
Yeah, so we sell beer, right? And that's always a good thing. And then, we get in front of their customer basis, and they hopefully will come out. And so, I look at that as a marketing expense,
100%,
right? So it's just like,
it's a great marketing.
Yeah. So it's like, I'd rather do those type of things than pay for an ad, right? So I'd rather, it's a lot more work on us to do.
Same influence, right?
Yeah. So,
when you're paying influencers and things like that, all you're doing is you're just trying to get in front of eyes, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so like with the way that Instagram algorithms work, when you can like cross collaborate now, and you're both putting it out to your audiences and stuff like that, it's a huge win for both y'all.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's been working well, but it's been a lot of fun, and talking with new people and getting new ideas, and just that inspiration is really cool. And then
that's San Antonio. Like we see, especially in the restaurant industry, which it seems antithesis to what it used to be. There's such a collaboration with different like local restaurateurs. Like I know you're talking about Sings. Like I've seen that you've got your beer out at their place
Yep.
at the Sings Canteen, like Sings
The
Canteen
cantina,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. How like what has your experience been with like the San Antonio like just restaurant tours and stuff like that?
I mean, for the most part, yeah, it's been. I think we're all in the same boat of just trying to survive and trying to do it. And so I think all of us have that not all of us, but I would say most of us have that just like what can we do to make a buck, and is this cool and this is exciting. I feel like everybody has been super helpful and asking questions or being given advice for what they've been doing. I think there's a big collaborative group on that as well. I haven't really run across too many people that
Not
just
all
like
assholes.
turn like, no, I'm not gonna help you out. It's just like, I mean, they were there. Like, even you get some experienced chefs out there, and like they were there and they understood the struggles, and I think most people are willing to share that knowledge and help out as much as they can. So I mean, it's been really nice, and I think the same is true in the beer industry as well. It's like a lot of the brewers and all that kind of stuff are pretty helpful, and the collaborations.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot more collaborations. Like, collaborations in the beer side, I think, are a little bit more well known and as versus the restaurant industry. I think brewers get together all the time and just, all right, let's do a collaboration and do it. And so like that we wanted to tie that into the restaurant as well. And like, one thing about these pop-ups are a lot of fun is that on the beer side, I get to then make a beer with them as well. So I've been bringing them in and then looking at their menu and say, okay, well, I think this beer will work really well, and making a beer specifically for that pop-up as well. So we did like a Vietnamese coffee porter yesterday, and we did, when the lobster truck came through, we did like a New England IPA. And so we, doing these different beers for each of these pop-ups, and keeps that creativeness going too, which is a lot of fun.
What are your like your standard, like your beer, like you always have
On the beer side, so we have 4 that we've kind of been getting. Like, when we first started, we have 12 taps. I was going to do different beers all the time, always rotating. So we've gone through a lot of different beers. But over this last year, it kind of got into that focus on your core kind of stuff. People want that regular option. So we have our safety meeting, which is our hazy IPA. We have our Atlanta Park Pilsner, German style pills. We have the Cetus Summit, which is like a West Coast cryo hopped lager, so like a hoppy lager. And then we also have the Highlands, which is a jasmine rice lager. So those are gonna be our 4 core ones. Then we have we have 9 other taps that constantly rotate through different things. So yeah, just always new things happening, trying out new beers, but the 4 kind of stay. And every so often we have like a quarterly that we'll redo every so often. So, but trying to find that, I feel I had to kind of step back from that idea of something new every single time, and always wanting something. Like, I think the craft beer industry if you're pre-COVID, everybody was looking for that whale. Everybody was looking for like the one-off crazy beer. What's the new thing?
or the 20% IPA.
Yeah, and running a restaurant, you've kind of costs have gone up. Everybody sees that. Everybody sees it's not a $5 beer anymore, right? It's like, you come to our spot, it's going to be $7.50, $8 a beer. We do 20-ounce pours, but so you're getting it's still a good deal, but for nowadays, right? But if I'm asking you to spend $8, or so you go to a place, if I'm a customer and I'm going to have to spend $8, $9 on a beer, I don't want the risk
I'm not liking it.
of not liking it, right? And so we found that, and we saw people like, I really like that beer. I don't know if I want to try a different one. So us having those core beers, it's a little bit more familiarized, and then
So y'all do like flights and different stuff.
yeah,
like
we
that,
have
where
flights.
people
You can
different
try different things and stuff like that. And then going into distribution, so taking our beer out into the market. When at Sings, we have about like 9 accounts, something really small. Like, we're not doing a crazy thing, but those core beers are like help with that as well. So they want that consistency. And if you go down to like, we have Fife and Faro, we have Sings, we have
You have Fife and Faro too.
So and the Pullman carries us in cans. So
Such a great their pastas. They're short.
yeah.
I can't get.
So yeah, it's don't stick too much in your ways, and like, be willing to change if you see, like, again, if it's not working over time, and saying, okay, well, like, listen to the customers and what they want, and I had to, like, okay, I'll actually start making the same beer over and over again. And, coming from Ranger Creek, is I made the same beer over and over and over again, and I needed a couple of years of not that to, and then I'm like, okay, I can get back to it now, right? So I had my fill of just making new beers every single week.
You got to park your artistic side.
Exactly. I was like, okay, I had to feed that a little bit, and we're there now.
So all your distribution right now is just other restaurants. You're just doing like kegs and stuff like that. Do y'all have plans or ambitions to bottle and can and put it into HEB?
Well, we do cans currently. So most of the cans you can get just through the pub. We do sell to CanWise. We're in the Pullman market. They pick up cans. Like Magpie, they're only in a can account. So there's a couple places that only do cans.
Nice.
I don't push it hard. I mean, like, margins aren't there in canned beer to like make a difference. It's cool for marketing purposes. Is they go to it, they try it. The whole idea of me putting beer out in the market is for someone to try it and cool, I want to go to the pub now, right? So like that's why I want to do it. And so we're not at near the scale. There's a scale level on production where it just does cost wise. It's just too expensive for me to go to HEB and do those things. It's you're going to be spending it's going to be way too much money at the market, and it's not going to sell, right? So
the marketing side, like you go to Pullman Market and you see Wild Barley, and it's like, oh it's a kind of that reminder.
Mm-hmm. Staying in the front of people's eyes is a huge thing. So I mean, we're trying to do that. So we're hopefully we can get to some other big accounts that can do that. We're talking with people, but it's on the beer side of things. It's myself. We have Asha and Cody. They just started helping us out. So yeah, it's the 2 full-time and 6 hours a week from someone else. So it's a small operation for the beer side, and we're just doing as much as we can. But yeah, the space we have is very limited. So when you're talking distribution, it's how much cold room space do you have, and how much kegs can you have, and inventory. So there's a lot of things to think about with it. So and time and effort, and having the right vehicle, and
you're doing all right there on Broadway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's crazy.
So what's next for you guys?
Keep the doors open, right? That's what we focus on.
Yeah.
Try to get more P than L, right?
Exactly. We just had a staff meeting yesterday, and that was one of the questions. Like one of our kitchen guys asking us, what's the next goals? And our refocus this year is, I think this last year, like I said, we focused on keeping up with the food, keeping up with the product, not running out, maintaining the new customers. And so to focus on it is how many, that repeat customer, and what can we do to get those repeat customers, and to focus on it. So our still focus is our core business right now where we're at. We still own the food truck, right? So there's possibilities in the future. I know there's a bunch of laws and regulations that are changing that right now. So we're kind of figuring out if that's, there's opportunities there. Me and Mark are not one to like pass up on opportunities. So like if it arises, but we had a pretty big operation, and we're keeping the doors open and keeping people coming in, and keeping that. How many can we turn someone from once a month to every other week, and that's our focus is just that customer service and customer retention is our goals for 2026, and all the different things we can do to do that. And
that lifetime value of a customer.
Yeah, exactly.
So other than like the Reuben, what are your what are your go-to food items that like you think like people like these are the ones that everybody comes in and like loves?
So for breakfast, like we do, because we have so many different products, man. It's crazy, but it's called the sausage party. So we're using Spoke Check Meat Market's sausage. We have the prickly pear jam from Brushfire Farms. That's with like an egg, bacon on bread. So that's like people come in pretty often to grab that in the morning. For lunch, the Reuben outsells everything else possible. And then at 3:00 we have wings, pizzas, burgers kind of hit. So our burgers have definitely this year have taken started people getting more. We do a house sourdough potato bun, smash style burgers.
You sell them during lunch too? Or?
Yeah, so that's lunch. So we sell burgers from weekday open to close. Reuben open to close. We have a Cuban that's incredible. We just got voted from San Antonio, the Express News. We got like the 3rd best in the city, I think. So we're like, cool, all right.
For non-Cubans.
For non-Cubans, yeah. I said once the article rang, we get calls. Do you have this, and this? I was like, I don't know what that is, man. I'm sorry.
We just sold a sandwich.
I sold the sandwich. I thought it was delicious. But
with some ham and pickles and mustard on it.
Exactly. Yeah, so we're making mojo, smoking the pork and making the ham ourselves, all that kind of stuff. So it's a really great sandwich. But the wings, we do brine smoked, then tossed chicken wings.
All this, so much in house.
So are they pure? Yeah. Are they smoked?
Yeah,
the wings.
The wings are smoked, and then we flash fry them. So after they're smoked, we fry them. So they
I had something like that in Nashville.
Yeah, they're good. Man,
they're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing I think tonight is the release of our special for the month, which is a cranberry serrano chicken wing. So it's gonna be
that's a fun one.
Get some of that holiday seasoning
exactly,
in there.
Yeah. So I got to get the holiday spirit in. So, but yeah, I mean it's
cranberry serrano actually sounds really good because you always feel like habanero pizza, that sweet and the tart and the spicy.
Yeah, it's been really good. And then pizzas wise, like again the Triple D episode aired our native Texan, which uses the smoked pastrami with. It's a barbecue kind of style pizza, and so that definitely is picked up. We have one called the Sette y Jamon, which is prosciutto, mushrooms, caramelized onions, garlic confit. That's going to be one of our best selling pizzas, and it's been
garlic confit.
Yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah, big old garlic cloves in there. So, but yeah, and then our beer side is we're getting more and more recognition and. People are trying it. It's crazy that coming from the food truck into what we did and how we stair-stepped it is like how many people come through the door and just don't know we're a brewery as well is a crazy amount of people. And then they're like, oh, you make your own beer here? And yeah, let's go through that thing. And we just took, at the U.S. Beer Open 2025, we just took our brewery size title of Best Brewery of the Year. And that's the third largest, I think, competition in the U.S., so we won Brewery of the Year for that.
Wow.
6 different medals. And then, starting to get the recognition on the beer side too. So it's pretty cool to see and people are really enjoying it. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So that's my passion. That's where I'm at. So it's really fun to see that recognition. People are drinking it and trying it. And, but it's, how many people just are like, man, y'all are hitting it all on all cylinders, and that's what we try. We try to hit the food, try to hit the beer, try to hit the customer service, all that kind of stuff. And we're in a rundown old building, and how do you elevate with that? And we try as much best we can for sure. So.
But it's in a good part of Broadway. Like there's a lot going on right there. Like our office is right across, just on the other side of 410.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely growing. I said. We knew being right there by the airport was going to be I think today we had, just suitcases kind of against the walls. We had a bunch of groups coming in. We kind of joke around that we're the favorite cell phone lot of San Antonio, right? Where it's like, come hang out. We're a better spot to hang out than
2 minutes away.
Yeah, you can get from the bar to the gate in 20 minutes, right? So that's pretty
cheaper than buying that airport beer.
Exactly. So yeah, we've been pretty lucky on that aspect of it, and that's why we chose that area. And we said, okay, we knew we had to jump on it, right? We had to when that location came up, and I was like, we need to make this work. Like I don't know how, but we need to make this work. I think it's been in business long enough where we can. But me and Mark had I think originally we're talking with the landlord and all this other stuff and ready to sign leases. We did not have the capital. I think together we had like 10 grand in the bank, and we're like talking like we had way more than that. Yeah, we can buy this and do this, and
that's how you make it happen.
And then we had a system, and we had 10 grand in the bank, and they're like, all right, let's do it, and then figure it out how to. We were able to pull it all together and
took that leap
and do it, and that's. When the opportunity comes, you got to jump on it and do it, and then figure it out on the back end, right? So, but it's worked. It's worked out.
I call it building the plane on the runway.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wheels first and let go, right? So,
Engine will come.
but yeah, Broadway's in that neighborhood has been a really great supporter. You have Theory, who's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
NACO on that corner, down Broadway.
Yeah.
There's just been a lot of
Rebar
like,
and Revolutionary
yeah.
Bar.
So there's been a lot of restaurants, and then
Panaderia's really been a good anchor there too.
oh yeah, for sure. So and then the beer scene, you had Big Hops on that corner,
the Growler place.
and then the Growler chains went in and they left, and then that's when we were at the business plan, we were like, there's a desert of craft beer in this area, and like there's no one doing it. Like this is we need to be somewhere in this area, and so that's where we started like honing it and finding it, and yeah, it's worked out. So we get a lot of craft beer going in. So
awesome.
And I think the area is growing too. There's a lot more popping up, and
there is.
I'm seeing construction everywhere. So I'm excited to see
that road they've got to finish up.
Yeah.
It's killing
One day.
me. It's killing me. Like right there, right that little, right in front of where, right between y'all and Raising Cane's, like all that shit.
Oh yeah, they're. That's another. Yeah, they finally finished up the car wash, so we'll see.
Yeah.
It is.
They were giving away free car washes. I should have used it.
I used it a couple times. It's a pretty good car wash, you know.
They always have a sign out like I'm on my way in the office and it says free car wash. And I'm like, man, I really, really do need it, but that's all right.
Yeah.
I barely use the car wash that I pay for.
Yeah.
So we have a couple questions that we always ask that's going to be controversial and like whenever we have restaurateurs in here.
Okay.
Because we're foodies at heart. Like we
Gotcha.
love food and stuff. So first off, where's your go-to breakfast taco place?
I live 2 houses down from Thousand Oaks Cafe on Austin Highway, so like that's where we go every morning and get we go get a machacado and a country sausage, egg, and cheese. You know, those are my 2 go-to. But
Thousand Oaks is a good one.
I mean, there's so many great ones, but yeah, I mean the proximity to my
You're
living
right across
my living room.
Taco Vallarta is right across from y'all's restaurant too.
Yeah,
It's
like,
I always tell people if you can find an old Whataburger, it'll be okay.
It'll
be okay.
Yeah.
Who else did we have on that lived right next to Thousand Oaks Cafe? Somebody else mentioned that.
I'm not sure. It's been mentioned before.
Yeah. Somebody's like, that's where I go because I live right down the street.
Because there's a couple of them now. There's the one over on Jones Maltzberger and then the one over.
No, I think they were talking about Austin Highway.
I know.
Yeah.
Austin Highway.
And then
His kids go to Woodward.
we're right there. And the other one is obviously as NACO is. I think he does. They're such nice people, and like it's an elevated.
His
for
is
sure.
loaded
Yeah,
up.
it is loaded. It is
like
full.
the NACO food truck right there. The and like
their brisket taco is. I
and
think
you
one
get the
of the
huiloche, the fermented corn fungus. Have you had that on?
I don't think I have that on that.
So I don't know if he has it at that spot, but the one over where the
On
trophy on Grayson, they had it, and then when they had the brick and mortar over by Fiesta down there, Los Patios, that corn fungus, that stuff like that, you could get the taco with that on there.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've ever had that.
I have. Yeah, it's delicious.
I love it because it's almost like the sour. It's almost like a sour. Like it's very similar. Like, yeah. Naco's good.
Yeah.
So the other one we always ask, and you can't say your own burger, but which outside of your place, go to hamburger place, because that's San Antonio, right? Tacos and burgers. Like what else is?
Tacos and burgers. Yeah, I mean there's the 2 spots that I go and eat burgers most often. I would go down to Roadmap, have a beer, and eat the Last Place Burgers. I think that they do a great job. And then also I always forget the name of the bar, but the Church Burger. His trailer too. Like I think both those are doing great.
We had Church Burger talked about the other day.
With the local.
With the local, the guy that does the local.
Yeah.
The carts, electric car stuff. He mentioned him and his wife. They mentioned that place.
I mean, so those. I mean, there's
that's
small business.
That's 2 real timely ones. We have to go try that.
Yeah, those are 2 great guys. And said I've kind of fallen more in love with the smash style burgers. Like I used to not like them, and now I'm like, and then I order that more than anything.
It's the char on it. It's because you get the caramelization on both sides of the patty and stuff like that. I think that's where the flavor.
Yeah, and there's some good variations, but those 2 are my like. I eat those more than anything. So.
And we always say the proper answer is Mr. Juicy.
Mr. Yeah. It's,
Just because.
Andrew whips up a good one.
It
does.
But hey, you know what we found out? And what's just crazy is Brad. What did you Google the other day? Best
I was YouTube.
on YouTube. And,
I was like best burgers in San Antonio.
and one of our reels.
And one of our reels, because we always ask that,
about
popped
best
up.
burgers.
Oh, yeah?
So we're now in the YouTube.
It was like one of the top 3 videos.
Yeah. Well,
So,
that's cool. Yeah. But
You're
yeah,
gonna be
there's-
famous, even
that's
more
good.
famous,
That's
even
right.
more famous than Guy Fieri can get you.
That's right. You get it on. But yeah, that's burgers and tacos.
I think I'm gonna have to go try y'all's burger maybe tomorrow for lunch.
We'll go there.
Yeah,
We do
got
that.
the special one coming out too. Because we're doing the Serrano cranberry jam, so we're doing one with that as well. So it's gonna hit tomorrow. So
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on.
Which beer would you pair with it?
Ooh, right now I'd do that coffee porter is hitting hard. So
All right.
yeah, do that one.
He's trying to get that one out the inventory.
That's right. That's not good.
Thank you so
All right,
much
no
for
problem.
coming
Thank
on.
you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
cheers. Yeah.